Hey guys, my name is Miska and welcome to Overwatch Central. Today it's another PTR patch. I feel like this is a bit of a recurring theme at the moment. So there was a patch last night that added some new things, and there were also some discoveries about the previous patch that was kind of related to my first video. So let's get straight to that and begin with that actually. So the PTR patch mostly included bug fixes and quality of life sort of changes to the following characters. Doomfist had his Seismic Slam changed in now that it can actually target things through railing. So you will no longer have that awkward moment with Doomfist where you can't really target something through a railing or at a high ground you want to get to because the railing is kind of in the way. Mei had a similar thing with Ice Wall, easier to place on thin surfaces, we'll get to that in a second, appears less jittery when placing while moving around, and Reaper had the same thing, easier to place on thin surfaces, appears less jittery when placing while moving around, and Symmetra, again, the exact same thing, but also players that use your teleporter now continue to look in their current viewing direction. So all that this basically means is that these abilities should be easier to use. You might have seen in my previous video that Shadow Step and Ice Wall, or well, Shadow Step and Teleporter in that video were a little bit difficult to use occasionally. You would aim at something and it would appear just below that point, or it wouldn't really appear at all for a split second, that sort of stuff. And that's kind of what they're trying to address here, so you can more consistently Reaper Shadow Step, Mei Ice Wall, Symmetra Teleporter, and of course Doomfist Seismic Slam. And for the most part, this seems to kind of be working, as you can see in all the footage. However, there are instances of things not working really. The Mei Ice Wall was fairly quickly discovered last night that the placement of it was a little bit off. It would be better here and there, but especially on stairs at certain angles, you just wouldn't be able to really place it down, and that would obviously result in missing that moment of opportunity to just slam up a wall and quickly be able to get over an obstacle or just approach a fight from a different angle, quite literally. And yeah, that just didn't really work, and this is obviously a big problem if you're playing Mei, so hopefully this is something that the developers see. I've already seen a couple posts about this, nothing that's blown up that much, so I wanted to include it here as well. Mei Ice Wall is currently broken on the PTR, and I'd be surprised if the devs don't see this. In addition to this, we also had a question answered as people started testing things out, and I'm not sure why I didn't do this as well on Tuesday, but Reaper, you know, with the Shadow Step, had a particular change in there that caught a lot of people's attention, including mine. I mentioned it on the Tuesday video, which was he's now invisible when he arrives at his Shadow Step location that is targeted. And that seems a little bit weird because invisibility in Overwatch works in mostly one of two different ways. So either one, you're just kind of gone entirely from that point, you just kind of fade from existence, which very rarely happens, but something like Tracer's Blinks is one of those things where you can blink through other players, but you can't blink through something like Junkrat's Trap. However, if you have something like Sombra, for example, you can't just walk through other players with the invisibility there, and you can still be shot at as well. So there, it's a question of how does this work for Reaper then with Shadow Step? And the answer is that he just seems to be invulnerable. He doesn't actually take damage when he arrives at his location, and honestly I'm not sure if this is intended or not. Some people brought up as well in various threads that this could be a bug, and it makes sense in a way for it to work like this because that's where Reaper was so vulnerable previously. He would just arrive somewhere, stand still for half a second and get headshot by Hanzo. That was kind of the problem. So in this case, is this a bug or is it not a bug? Another one of those things that we just gotta kind of post on the dev forums and find out over time. As of right now, it's kind of unclear honestly, but it would be a pretty big buff if this is not a bug and it's intended for Reaper to be invulnerable when arriving at his Shadow Step location. That was it for the PTR patch portion of this video. Other than that, just a couple of quick things I want to highlight. Beginning with the cosplay contest that happened, it was kind of a Blizzard official one. I believe it was Team France that actually won this at the end with this fantastic Torbjorn cosplay, and there were quite a few other ones. You can check out all of the contestants at the link in the description as well if you're interested in more info on that. Some pretty ridiculous results though, like that full D.Va mech and things like that. Finally, a reminder as well that Baptiste should be hitting competitive play in not too long. In fact, I believe it was announced to be next week on April 2nd, so definitely do keep an eye out for that if you play comp regularly right now. And that's essentially all for this video. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.